Right, welcome to the Deep Dive, where we, your AI guides.
Charlie and Charlie.
Yeah, that's us take you on a bit of a whirlwind tour of all the latest and greatest in the Atlassian Cloud world.
That's right, we're bots.
We're bots.
But not the kind that steal your jobs.
No, none of that.
Think of us as your supercharged cheat sheet.
Cheat sheet, yeah.
Here to decode the Atlassian matrix.
This week, we've been crunching those release notes from December 2nd to the 9th, 2024.
And let me tell you.
Oh, let me tell you.
It's been a proper tech fest over at Atlassian HQ.
Hold on to your teacups, because we've got...
You got it all.
Domain-enabled Jira instances, AI that writes your replies for you,
Oh.
and a whole Confluence makeover on the menu.
Indeed, it seems Atlassian is on a mission to streamline workflows,
Oh, yeah.
boost security, and weave that AI magic into everything.
It's everywhere.
This has big implications for how you manage your teams,
Yes.
your projects,
Of course.
and, well, your sanity.
Okay, let's start with Atlassian administration.
The control center.
The control center of your Atlassian universe.
One change that really jumped out
It really jumped out.
was the security upgrade for API token controls.
No more needing Atlassian Guard standard for that, which is...
Brilliant news.
It's great news for smaller teams who want tighter security without breaking the bank.
Precisely. It's a smart move by Atlassian
Smart move.
to make advanced security features
More accessible.
more accessible.
Absolutely.
After all, everyone deserves peace of mind
Oh, of course.
when it comes to their data,
Regardless of budget.
regardless of budget.
And while we're on the topic of access, anyone working with Microsoft's Entra will appreciate the new option to choose between email
Okay.
and user principal name
Right.
for syncing users.
Yeah.
It's a small change,
It is a small change.
but could save a lot of hassle when managing those user identities.
Absolutely. It's all about giving you more flexibility and control.
Flexibility and control.
And speaking of control, Atlassian is making a big push toward efficiency
Love it.
with features like one-time prompts for enabling direct access on domains.
Imagine saying goodbye to those endless approval chains.
What a time saver.
It's like they finally heard our prayers.
It's like they're listening.
No more chasing approvals for weeks just to enable a simple feature.
And there's more good news on that efficiency front.
Hit me.
Centralized product request management is on the horizon.
Oh, this could be a game changer
It really could.
for how you handle software requests across your organization.
Indeed, a centralized system could really streamline the process.
Streamline, absolutely.
Make it easier for them to track requests,
Uh,
manage approvals,
yeah.
and ensure that everyone's on the same page.
And let's be honest, who wouldn't want fewer headaches
Fewer headaches.
when it comes to managing software?
Let's move to Jira.
Okay.
Brace yourselves.
Okay.
Jira Software is getting a name change.
It's just Jira.
In CSV exports, it'll simply be Jira.
Might take some getting used to,
It might.
but it does reflect this bigger shift
Oh, yeah.
towards a unified work management approach
It really does make you wonder if they just got tired of typing software.
all the time.
But you are right.
It's a good reminder.
Double check.
Yeah.
Those scripts that rely on the old name.
Wouldn't want things to go pear-shaped
Pear-shaped.
because of a simple name change.
Good point.
Speaking of testing and experimentation, for those who love their sandboxes,
Oh, I love a good sandbox.
and let's face it, who doesn't enjoy
A bit of tinkering.
a bit of risk-free tinkering?
Yes.
You can now copy specific Jira Service Management
Okay.
and Jira Work Management projects into your sandbox environment.
Ah, the sandbox.
It's where we let our inner mad scientist run wild
Without blowing up the lab.
without blowing up the whole lab.
This granular control over sandbox projects will be a huge time saver.
Imagine being able to test
Oh, yeah.
new configurations or workflows in a safe environment
Before rolling it out.
before rolling them out to your live projects.
Exactly.
It's all about minimizing risk. Absolutely.
And maximizing efficiency.
And speaking of making things easier,
Uh-huh.
Atlassian is really focusing on enhancing the user experience
Across the board.
across the board.
Across all their products.
Take Jira Product Discovery, for example.
Okay.
They're introducing helpful recommendations for new users,
Brilliant.
which is brilliant.
For those dipping their toes into those product discovery waters.
It's like having a friendly Sherpa
Yeah.
guiding you
Guiding you.
through the sometimes treacherous terrain
Saturous terrain.
of product discovery.
And Jira Service Management isn't far behind.
No,
They're simplifying project templates, which means...
less clicking, more getting things done.
Exactly.
And they're streamlining space creation in Confluence, too.
It's clear they've been listening to user feedback.
They have.
And focusing on making those initial setup processes
Less daunting.
less daunting.
Much less daunting.
And let's not forget about those little tweaks that make a big difference in your daily workflow.
Well, the little things. For example, Jira is getting colorful categories to help you visually organize work. Smart links are popping up in more fields for seamless connections.
Seamless. I love that word.
And you can even edit Jira summaries directly from the Smart Link list view.
It's all about making those everyday tasks a bit smoother.
It's like finding a perfectly brewed cup of tea in the middle of a hectic day.
Oh, yes.
Now for the part that's got everyone buzzing.
AI?
Remember those AI bots I mentioned?
Oh, yeah.
Atlassian is getting serious about integrating AI into its products.
One
One standout feature is the new AI-powered Confluence tool
I love it.
that summarizes page comments.
What?
Perfect for catching up on those marathon comment threads without needing a strong cuppa.
Indeed, it's a brilliant time saver.
Especially for those who get lost in that comment rabbit hole.
Oh, I know it.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
There's more.
In Jira, AI can help you craft clearer issue descriptions.
Right.
And in Jira Service Management, it can even draft replies to customer requests.
I can't even...
Imagine never having to write, "Thank you for your request, we'll look into this," ever again.
What a glorious thought.
It's like having a virtual assistant that can handle all those repetitive tasks.
Freeing up your time for more strategic thinking.
Talk about a productivity boost.
And while we're talking about making life easier...
Let's not forget about security.
Oh, security.
Atlassian is introducing a new data security policy in Atlassian administration that prevents people from viewing Confluence pages without logging in.
It's a simple
but
effective way to protect your sensitive information.
and ensure that only authorized eyes can see it.
Like putting a virtual bouncer
Oh, love that.
on your Confluence pages.
Making sure no one sneaks in without the right credentials.
And Bitbucket's getting a security upgrade, too,
Oh, tell me more.
with new ways to use third-party secret providers in Bitbucket pipelines.
So that gives you
More flexibility
more flexibility.
in how you manage your secrets. And it strengthens your overall security posture.
More security and more flexibility.
Win-win.
Win-win in my book.
Now, zooming in
Okay.
on some specific updates for Jira Software,
Right.
Atlassian's been busy rolling out a
All right.
range of improvements focused on user experience
Love it.
and efficiency.
Even better.
For starters,
Fancy.
admins in team-managed projects can now rejoice.
They can rejoice.
They can create and edit issue types directly from the project summary page.
No more getting lost in the labyrinthine world of project settings.
No more getting lost.
It's like they've finally given those admins a shortcut
a shortcut to the good stuff.
to the important stuff.
And for those who love a bit of visual organization,
Yeah.
you can now add a splash of color to your work with format rules in lists.
Oh, I love a bit of color.
Imagine highlighting work that's running behind schedule with a bold red.
Oh, makes it hard to ignore.
It certainly does.
It's like a traffic light system for your Jira boards.
Red for danger,
Red for danger.
green for good to go.
Green for good to go.
A very British way to manage projects.
Wouldn't you say?
Speaking of British,
Okay.
remember those custom domains we mentioned earlier?
Oh, yeah?
Well, they're coming to Jira products too.
Nice.
This will make it even easier for your users to access their Jira instances
Oh.
with easy-to-remember URLs.
It's like giving your Jira instance a bespoke suit,
A bespoke suit.
tailored to fit your organization's image.
Very posh indeed.
But hold on, what's this about Jira product discovery becoming even easier
Easier.
for Jira users? I thought it was already pretty user-friendly.
Well, they've taken it a step further.
Okay.
Jira Product Discovery is now offering tailored recommendations
I
to
know.
Jira users who are new to the tool.
So it's all about providing guidance,
Right.
making it less intimidating to get started.
Less intimidating.
Think of it as a virtual helping hand
A virtual helping hand.
to guide you through the product discovery process.
Right. Sounds like they're really trying to make things as intuitive as possible.
Intuitive as possible.
But tell me, what about those of us who love a bit of visual planning?
Visual planning.
Any good news on that front?
Give it to me.
You are in luck.
Lucky me.
Atlassian is rolling out a new feature that allows you to create Confluence whiteboards
I love those.
directly from your Jira backlog.
Oh, imagine the possibilities.
Imagine.
You can seamlessly move from backlog grooming to visual brainstorming
Yes.
without ever leaving your Jira instance.
Now that's what I call integrated.
Integrating it is.
Confluence whiteboards are brilliant for collaborative planning.
Yes.
And brainstorming.
Absolutely.
And to top it off,
Okay.
Atlassian is introducing a new cross-team planning template in Jira.
Oh, this is interesting.
It's designed to give you a high-level view of work across multiple teams.
Perfect for those big picture thinkers out there.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic tool for keeping everyone aligned.
Aligned.
And ensuring that all those moving parts are working together harmoniously.
Harmonious.
Speaking of moving parts, did you catch the update about the Site Optimizer?
Refresh my memory. What's new with the Site Optimizer?
Well, it's getting even more powerful.
It's getting powerful.
It can now archive projects, giving admins a way to tidy up their Jira instances
Tidy up.
and remove clutter.
Oh, nice.
It's a great way to keep things organized
Organized.
and ensure that you're only working with active projects.
Sounds like a spring cleaning for Jira.
It does, doesn't it?
But tell me, are there any improvements for those of us who are visually oriented? I love a good chart and graph to make sense of things.
Well, you'll be pleased to hear that board and backlog insights are now available to all Jira users,
regardless of permissions.
regardless of their permissions.
It's all about making data-driven decision-making.
More accessible.
More accessible.
The data is power, as they say.
Data is power.
But sometimes it's hard to make sense of it all.
It is hard.
Having those insights readily available
Is a real boon.
It is. And for those who love a bit of automation,
Oh, automation is a beautiful thing.
Atlassian is introducing a new feature
Hit me with it.
that allows you to bulk duplicate and delete components
Okay.
in the automation rule builder.
Nice.
Think of the time saved. No more tedious clicking and dragging
Oh, the clicking and dragging.
for those repetitive tasks.
Automation is a beautiful thing.
But tell me, what's this about connecting Jira issues to goals?
I'm all for aligning work with bigger objectives.
It's a fantastic addition.
Tell me more.
You can now use the goals field in Jira to connect your team's work to those high-level business objectives.
Right, so it's all about
Keeping everyone focused.
keeping everyone focused on the big picture
Yeah.
and understanding how their individual tasks contribute to the overall success of a project.
The big picture.
The big picture.
Right. Sounds like Jira is becoming quite the strategic planning tool.
It really is.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with sprints?
Footprints, yeah.
Any news on that front?
Lay it on me.
Well, you'll be glad to hear that plans in Jira,
Okay.
specifically the program board,
Program board.
is getting a major upgrade.
Nice.
It's now possible to change the duration of the program board,
Oh, yeah, neat.
giving you more flexibility in how you visualize and manage your sprints.
So more flexibility.
More flexibility, and the best part,
This part.
the program board is officially out of open beta
No more beta.
and is now a fully fledged feature of plans.
That's fantastic news.
The program board is a brilliant tool
It really is.
for managing complex projects and keeping track of multiple sprints.
But tell me,
Yes.
are there any improvements for those of us who like to document everything?
Document everything.
I'm a big fan of detailed release notes, you know?
You're in luck.
Oh, lucky me again.
Atlassian is introducing a new feature that allows you to create embedded release notes
Okay.
using a Confluence template.
So no more copying and pasting between tools.
No more copying and pasting.
You can seamlessly generate those detailed release notes.
Directly within your Jira instance.
Now that's what I call efficiency.
Efficiency.
But what about those of us who sometimes get bogged down
Bogged down.
with too many fields
Yeah, I know what you mean.
when creating issues?
Any good news there?
Is there?
They've thought of that too.
They have.
Jira is introducing a new feature that allows you to hide unused fields when creating issues.
So it's all about
Decluttering the interface
decluttering.
and making it easier to focus on the essential information.
Focusing on what's important.
And for those who love working with smart links,
Yeah, smartly.
you can now edit various Jira fields,
Okay.
including status, assignee, and priority.
Directly from the Smart Link list view.
That's right.
No more jumping back and forth between issues.
Those are some clever tweaks.
They are clever.
But tell me, are there any updates for those of us who like to connect Jira with other tools?
I'm a big fan of automation and integration.
You're in for a treat.
Ooh, I love a treat.
Jira and Confluence automation are getting a major boost.
Hit me with that boost.
You can now create Google Docs in your Google Drive
Oh,
directly from Jira and Confluence automation rules.
imagine the possibilities.
Imagine.
No more manual document creation.
Just set up an automation rule.
And let Atlassian do the heavy lifting.
That's automation at its finest.
But tell me, what's this about?
Oh.
What's this about keeping a close eye?
Keeping a close eye
on what's happening with our automation rules.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any improvements for tracking and managing those rules?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Jira and Confluence automation are getting some handy updates.
Handy updates.
To the audit log.
The audit log.
You can now clear date and time filters in the audit log.
With a single click.
With a single click.
I like it.
Making it easier to manage and review your automation history.
Review that history.
And for those who like to tinker with their automation rules before unleashing them.
Unleashing them on the world.
You can now save automation rules in a disabled state.
A disabled state.
Effectively creating draft rules.
Rules.
That you can refine and activate later.
Those are some useful additions to the automation toolkit.
Tell me, what about those of us who work with epics and parent links in Jira?
Epics and parent links.
Any news on that front?
Is there news?
Atlassian is continuing its work towards deprecating the epic link and parent link fields.
The epic link
and parent link fields.
Okay.
In Jira.
So one of the recent changes?
One of the recent changes is that changes to these fields no longer show up in the audit logs or via the API.
Right, so it's a gradual process.
It's gradual.
But it's worth noting, if you rely heavily on these fields.
Right, it sounds like Atlassian is cleaning up some legacy features.
Yeah.
And making way for new and improved functionality.
New and improved.
But tell me, what about importing data into Jira?
Importing data.
Are there any improvements to that process?
Feel me?
Yes, actually. Okay. Jira is introducing a new feature.
I like new features.
That uses configuration files to streamline data imports.
Streamline, good word.
You can now download a configuration file after an import.
Okay.
Which captures your import settings.
Right, okay.
This means you can reuse those settings for future imports.
So it makes the process much smoother.
Smoother.
And less error prone.
Less error prone.
Think of it as a shortcut for importing data into Jira.
Brilliant.
But tell me, what about those of us who like to visually prioritize our work?
Visually prioritize?
Any good news on that front?
You're in luck.
Oh, again?
Jira is introducing a refreshed priorities page.
Okay.
That makes it easier to manage.
And
visualize your priorities.
So you can now add. Delete. And reorder priorities.
Prepare.
Assign colors and icons.
Yes.
And generally make those priorities pop.
Make them pop.
I do love a bit of visual organization.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with business projects in Jira?
Business project.
Any updates specific to that realm?
Give me the lowdown.
Quite a few, actually.
Okay, then.
Atlassian is rolling out a new set of business project templates.
Nice.
With pre-configured approvals.
So that makes it easier to manage those approval workflows.
Easier to manage, yeah.
And for those who love the convenience of bulk actions.
Ooh, bulk actions.
Jira is introducing a new toolbar in the backlog.
Okay.
That allows you to update multiple issues simultaneously.
Think of it as a power tool for managing your backlog.
Sounds like a real time saver.
But tell me, what about integrating Jira plans with other parts of the Atlassian ecosystem?
I'm a big fan of seamless connections.
Well, you'll be pleased to hear that Jira Product Discovery
is
now integrated with Jira plans.
So this means you can connect your product discovery work
You can.
with your overall project plans.
Creating a more holistic view of your projects.
Holistic.
And speaking of plans, did you hear about the new feature that allows you to add external sprints to your plan in Jira?
Tell me more.
I'm all about incorporating those external dependencies.
External dependencies.
Into our plans.
It's a game changer.
It is.
You can now assign issues to sprints that are outside of your plan.
That's right.
Giving you more flexibility in how you manage work across multiple teams.
And projects.
It's a fantastic way to keep everyone aligned.
Aligned.
And ensure that those external dependencies are properly accounted for.
Right. Sounds like Jira is becoming quite the collaborative powerhouse.
It really is.
But tell me, are there any updates for those of us who rely on the issue view for managing our work?
Issue view, yeah.
You'll be pleased to hear that Jira has decluttered the quick add buttons in the issue view.
So it's easier to find the actions.
Easier to find. And for those who love using smart links.
Oh, the smart links.
You can now view recent links from smart link hover cards.
So that gives you
quick access to related documents and work items.
No more jumping back and forth between issues.
Those are some nice quality of life improvements.
I like those.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with pull requests?
Pull requests, of course.
Are there any updates
that will make our lives easier?
You're in luck.
Oh, where?
Jira is rolling out new work suggestions for pull requests that need attention.
Oh, okay.
You'll now get notifications.
Notifications.
When your pull requests are ready to merge. have been inactive for a certain period or when you've been added as a reviewer.
Right. So it's all about keeping
those pull requests moving.
Keeping them moving.
And ensuring that nothing falls through the cracks.
Right. Sounds like Jira is becoming quite the pull request management tool.
It is.
But tell me,
yeah,
what about those of us who work with Compass?
Compass.
You know, Atlassian's tool for managing software components.
Oh, right.
Any updates for the Compass users out there?
There are a few interesting updates. First, Jira now supports custom Compass component types.
So giving teams more flexibility.
More flexibility.
In how they categorize and manage their software components.
And second, you can now connect Jira issues to Compass components.
Oh, that creates a tighter link.
A tighter link.
Between work management and software architecture.
It's a great way to keep everyone on the same page.
Everyone on the same page.
And ensure that your work is properly aligned with your overall software architecture.
Sounds like Compass is becoming an even more integral part of the Atlassian ecosystem.
It is.
But tell me,
yeah,
what about those of us who like to use the plan timeline in Jira?
The plan timeline.
Any updates for that particular feature?
A couple of noteworthy changes.
All right, then.
First, you can now create child issues.
Okay.
Directly from the plan timeline header.
How handy.
Streamlining the process of adding new work items to your plan.
And second?
Second, the plan timeline now recommends sprints
Okay.
that align with the dates of the columns.
It makes it easier
to
schedule and manage your sprints.
Within the plan.
So it's all about making the plan timeline
a more intuitive,
more efficient
for managing your projects.
Those are some handy improvements. But tell me, what about those of us who are new to Jira? And need a bit of guidance. Any news on that front?
Good question.
You'll be pleased to hear.
That
Jira is making it even easier for new users to get started.
How?
They've introduced a new hide unused fields feature.
Oh, okay.
That declutters the create issue form.
Less clutter.
And allows users to focus on the essential fields.
Just the essentials.
And for those who are just starting out with Jira, there's a new upgrade button for free customers.
Does that make sense?
It's easier to upgrade to a paid plan when they hit the user limit.
It's all about making Jira more accessible.
And
user-friendly. For everyone.
That's fantastic. But tell me, what about those of us who work with large CSV exports? Any performance improvements in that area?
You are in luck.
Oh, am I?
Jira has made significant improvements.
Ooh, I like the sound of this.
To the performance and reliability of CSV exports.
So exports are now
faster. They can handle larger data sets. And provide better tracking and control.
Making it easier to get the data you need.
Right. So those large data exports will be less of a headache. From now on.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with approvals in Jira?
Approvals?
Any updates that will make our lives easier?
There's an important change to be aware of.
Okay, hit me.
Jira now maintains approval history even when approvals are bypassed.
So that means?
This means that you'll have a complete record of all approval activity.
Okay, that's good.
Even if an issue is transitioned to a different status before all approvals are finalized.
So that's a valuable update.
It is.
Maintaining that audit trail.
The audit trail
is crucial for accountability and transparency.
It is.
But tell me, are there any updates that will make it easier to navigate and manage our Jira settings?
Atlassian has given the priorities page a refresh.
I like a refresh.
Making it more accessible and easier to use.
So you can now easily
add, delete,
and reorder priorities. As well as customize their names, colors, and icons.
Yes.
So it's a small but significant update.
It is.
That makes it easier to manage those all-important priorities.
All right, so it sounds like Atlassian is all about making those admin tasks a bit more pleasant. But tell me, what about those of us who love Jira's automation capabilities?
Love it.
Automation is all about
making
our lives easier.
It is.
Freeing up time for more strategic work.
Absolutely.
Any new features that will make our automation rules even smarter and more efficient.
Give me the good news.
Atlassian is introducing some exciting new automation capabilities.
Give me.
You can now add text to new pages using automation rules in Confluence, making it even easier to automate content creation.
Streamlining.
And for those who work with AWS, there's a new feature that allows you to customize the duration for waiting for a response, when running the AWS SSM document and resume rule in case of no response.
Those are some powerful additions
to the automation arsenal.
But tell me,
what about those of us who work with Jira Service Management,
formerly known as Jira Service Desk?
Any exciting updates
for that realm?
Blimey, where do we even begin?
I don't know. You tell me.
Jira Service Management has undergone a major transformation.
Oh.
With a host of new features and improvements. They've introduced a new onboarding and navigation for the virtual service agent.
So it's easier to get started with this powerful tool.
Easier to get started.
And for those who manage customer information, there's an enhanced customer and organization directory.
Enhanced. Love that word.
That provides a more streamlined and user-friendly experience.
Sounds like Jira Service Management's getting a proper makeover.
It does.
But tell me, what about those of us who rely on custom emojis?
Custom emojis.
For managing our service requests.
Any news on that front?
There is an important change to be aware of.
Okay, hit me.
Atlassian is phasing out custom emoji rules in Jira Service Management's chat settings.
So admins will need to set up similar rules using automation?
They will.
To maintain that functionality.
It is a bit of a shift.
It is.
But it's all part of Atlassian's move towards a more unified and streamlined automation experience.
Right. Sounds like those custom emojis are going the way of the dodo.
They are. But tell me.
What about managing data in assets?
Assets.
Jira Service Management's asset management tool.
Any updates in that area?
Atlassian is introducing data limits for object schemas in assets.
To ensure optimal performance and reliability.
Optimal.
Admins will need to be mindful of these limits.
Mindful.
When structuring their data in assets.
It's a bit of a technical detail.
It is.
But it's worth noting.
For those who work with assets extensively.
Right. Sounds like those data limits are there to keep things running smoothly.
They are. But tell me.
What about managing queues?
Queues.
In Jira Service Management?
Yeah.
Any updates for those of us who spend our days wrangling queues?
Wrangling those queues.
Atlassian has made some improvements to the editing experience for queues, making it easier to configure and manage those queues.
Manage those queues.
And for those who like to keep their project settings organized.
Organized is good.
There's a new navigation structure for project settings.
Okay.
In Jira Service Management.
So
that groups related items and aligns more closely with other Jira projects.
Sounds like Jira Service Management is getting a proper polish.
It is. And tell me.
What about those of us who love using smart values for automating our workflows?
Smart values?
Any news on that front?
Is there news?
You'll be glad to hear.
Glad to hear it.
That Jira Service Management now supports smart values for forms and form fields. This means you can now use dynamic data from submitted forms to power your automation and reporting.
That makes your workflows
even smarter
and
more efficient.
That's a fantastic addition.
Smart values are a real game changer for automating those repetitive tasks and making workflows more dynamic.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with approvals? In Jira Service Management. Any updates for that particular feature?
There is a significant change to be aware of.
Okay, I'm listening.
Jira Service Management now maintains approval history even when approvals are bypassed.
So this ensures that you have a complete record of all approval activity.
Yeah.
Even if an issue is transitioned to a different status.
Before all approvals are finalized.
That's a valuable update.
It is.
For sure, maintaining a complete audit trail is crucial for transparency and accountability.
It is.
But tell me, what about managing permissions for customer and organization information?
Customer and organization information.
In Jira Service Management. The updates in that area?
Jira admins can now configure view and edit permissions for customer and organization detail fields.
Okay.
In Jira Service Management projects.
Right.
This gives admins finer control over who can access and modify sensitive customer information.
It's all about security.
And for those who work with entitlements, there's a new feature that allows you to restrict request types to specific customer accounts and organizations.
So that gives you more control over who can raise certain types of requests.
Right. It sounds like Jira Service Management's getting even more secure.
It's getting secure.
And customizable. But tell me.
Okay.
What about integrating Jira Service Management with other parts of the Atlassian ecosystem?
Any news on that front?
They've certainly been busy on that front.
So tell me, what's new?
Jira Service Management Premium and Enterprise users can now link specific service projects to a help center.
So making it easier to provide relevant help resources.
Relevant help resources.
To their customers.
And for those who love using the virtual service agent.
Love those virtual service agents.
But there's a new beta feature.
Hit me.
That allows you to activate the virtual service agent in email.
Oh, okay.
So your customers can get automated support.
Automated support.
Via email as well.
Sounds like Jira Service Management is becoming quite the omni-channel support powerhouse.
It really is.
But tell me, are there any updates that will make it easier for us to understand how our Jira Service Management projects are performing?
How they're performing.
I'm a big fan of data-driven insights.
You'll be glad to hear.
Glad to hear it.
That Atlassian is introducing new analytics for Jira Service Management.
Oh, analytics.
You can now track the number of requests users have sent to RovoChat or agents,
right,
as well as monitor your usage quota for Rovo requests.
So the fantastic way to gain insights into how your team is using these features.
Yeah.
And ensure that you're staying within your quota limits.
Those are some valuable additions to the analytics toolkit.
Analytics? It's all about the analytics.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with Assets Object?
Assets Object.
In Jira Service Management.
Any updates for that particular feature?
Jira Service Management now provides enhanced visibility for Assets Objects within change management features.
Okay, so you can now view...
You can view change conflicts, recent incidents, and monitor assets in the change calendar.
Right, so it's giving you a more comprehensive view of how your assets are impacted. By changes and incidents.
Sounds like those Assets Objects are getting some much-needed visibility.
Visibility is good.
But tell me, what about those of us who are still using the Requests beta feature in Jira Service Management?
Requests,
Any news on that front?
Fill me in.
There is an important update to be aware of.
I'm all ears.
The Requests beta feature is being retired.
Retired?
While the feature made it easy to view Jira Service Management requests from within Jira Software projects, it didn't quite meet performance expectations.
Oh, okay.
Atlassian is encouraging users to explore alternative options.
Alternative options?
For working with requests.
Across Jira Software and Jira Service Management.
Right. Sounds like it's time to say goodbye to the Requests beta feature.
Time to say goodbye.
But tell me, what about managing issue security?
Issue security?
In Jira Service Management.
Any updates in that area?
There are a couple of significant changes.
Okay, I'm ready.
First, Jira Service Management is introducing a new way to manage issue security on request types in company-managed service projects. You can now control who can raise requests and view issues.
Directly from the request type configuration.
Directly from the configuration.
Simplifying the process of managing issue security.
That's a welcome simplification for sure.
But tell me,
what about those of us who need to restrict access to certain requests?
Based on the customer's organization.
Any news on that front?
Lay it on me.
You are in luck.
Lucky me.
Jira Service Management now allows you to restrict request types to specific customer accounts and organizations.
So that gives you
finer control over who can raise certain types of requests.
Sounds like Jira Service Management is getting even more secure.
And customizable.
And customizable.
But tell me, what about those of us who use Jira Product Discovery?
Jira Product Discovery.
For capturing and prioritizing product ideas.
And capturing those ideas.
Any exciting updates for that realm?
I hope so.
There are a few noteworthy updates.
Okay.
Jira Product Discovery roadmaps available in the Premium Edition. Now allow you to visualize which projects are used in each roadmap.
Right, so this gives you a clearer understanding. Of how your product discovery work is connected to your projects.
And speaking of the Premium Edition, Jira plans are now included with Jira Premium.
That's nice.
Giving you access to a powerful tool for planning and tracking work across multiple teams and projects.
That's a fantastic value add for Jira Premium users.
But tell me, what about those of us who are using the free plan for Jira Product Discovery?
Free plan.
Any changes that we need to be aware of?
Read me.
There is an important update.
Okay.
As of November 15th, 2024.
Right.
Everyone with Creator Product Access and Jira Product Discovery on the free plan will become a project admin.
Okay.
This means that the access permission scheme...
The access permission scheme...
for free plans can no longer be changed.
So they're simplifying the permissions model for free plans.
That's right.
But tell me, are there any usability improvements in Jira Product Discovery?
Usability improvement.
That will make our lives easier.
They've certainly been paying attention to detail.
Attention to detail, I like it.
You can now quickly clear your search query in Jira Product Discovery.
Okay.
By clicking the X in the search bar.
Oh, nice and simple.
Making it easier to start a new search.
Easier to start a new search.
And for those who work with global formula fields,
there's
a new notification.
A notification.
That alerts you if a global formula field is missing inputs.
All right.
Preventing potential errors.
Those are some handy little tweaks.
But tell me.
Okay.
What about integrating Jira Product Discovery? With other parts of the Atlassian ecosystem?
Any news on that front?
You'll be glad to hear.
Glad to hear it.
That Jira Product Discovery is now integrated with Jira Plans.
Oh, okay.
This means you can connect your product ideas and roadmaps with your overall project plans.
So giving you
a more holistic view. Of your product development lifecycle.
That's a fantastic integration.
It is.
It's all about connecting the dots.
And
ensuring that your product discovery work is aligned with your overall project goals.
But tell me, what about those of us who rely on Confluence for documentation and collaboration?
Confluence.
Any exciting updates for that realm?
Fill me in.
Hold on to your hats because Confluence is getting a whole host
of
updates and improvements.
Hit me.
They've made it easier than ever to create Jira issues from Confluence pages.
Oh.
Using Atlassian Intelligence.
Using AI.
You can now simply select the relevant text on a page.
Right.
And Atlassian Intelligence will generate a Jira issue. With a helpful summary.
And description. All without leaving your Confluence page.
No, that's what I call smart integration.
Smart integration indeed.
But tell me.
What about those of us who love using page previews? To get a quick glimpse of a Confluence page's content.
Then the improvements in that area?
Give me the lowdown.
Premium and enterprise customers will now see a new and improved page preview.
Oh, I like new and improved.
In Confluence?
When you hover over a page title?
When you hover in the content tree.
The content tree?
Atlassian Intelligence will generate a preview containing 3 short sentences from the page.
3 short sentences.
Giving you a more relevant and informative glimpse of the page's content.
That's a clever use of AI for sure.
It is.
But tell me.
Yeah.
What about those of us who struggle to keep up?
With
long comment threads on Confluence pages.
Oh, the comment threads?
Any new features?
That will help us manage those discussions more effectively.
Give me the good news.
You are in luck.
Oh.
Atlassian Intelligence can now summarize page comments for you in Confluence.
Oh, that's really handy.
It is.
So just navigate to the bottom of the page.
There's the bottom of the page.
Select Summarize Comments.
Summarize Comments to get a concise overview of the discussion.
Right. So it's a fantastic way to quickly catch up. On lengthy conversations. Without having to read every single comment.
Right. Sounds like Atlassian Intelligence is becoming quite the Confluence companion. Tell me.
Hit me with it.
What about those of us who use automation to streamline our Confluence workflows?
Any new features?
That will make our automated processes even more powerful.
Okay, lay it on me.
Admins can now create automation rules for public links in Confluence.
Public links, okay.
This means you can now trigger automated actions.
Oh, I see.
When a public link is enabled or disabled. For a page, giving you more control over how you manage
public access to your Confluence content.
Public access.
And speaking of automation, there's a new feature that makes it easier to browse, preview, and select page template.
When creating new pages. In Confluence.
Those are some handy additions to the Confluence automation toolkit.
But tell me.
Hit me with it.
What about those of us who use Confluence whiteboards?
Oh, the whiteboard.
For collaborative planning and brainstorming.
Any new features?
That will make our whiteboard sessions even more productive.
Give me the good stuff.
You'll be pleased to hear.
It.
That Atlassian has been busy improving the Confluence whiteboard experience. They've made it easier to create Confluence whiteboards directly from your Jira backlog.
So,
making it a breeze to move from backlog grooming to visual planning.
It is a breeze.
And speaking of Jira, you can now import Jira issues directly into your Confluence whiteboards.
Making it easier to connect your whiteboard plans with your Jira work items.
Sounds like Confluence whiteboards are becoming even more integrated.
Integrated
in Jira.
But tell me,
what about those of us who work with tables in Confluence?
Tables.
Any updates?
That will make those tables more visually appealing and consistent.
They have indeed.
Oh.
Confluence now supports 6-column widths for tables.
Okay, sir.
Ensuring that your tables look their best even on narrow screens.
It's a small but significant update that improves the readability. And visual consistency of your tables.
Right. Sounds like those tables will be looking sharp.
They will.
But tell me, what about creating new pages in Confluence?
Creating pages.
Any updates that will streamline that process?
Streamlining is good.
They've made it even faster and easier to create new page drafts while editing a Confluence page.
Right, okay.
You can now use the /create Confluence page command to instantly generate a new page draft.
Instantly.
In a new tab.
Complete
with a link to that draft within the page you're currently editing.
Now that's what I call efficiency. But tell me.
What about managing those all-important space keys? And Confluence.
Any news on that front?
You'll be glad to hear.
It.
That you can now rename space keys. In Confluence Cloud.
That's a huge win.
For
those who need to update space keys to reflect organizational changes. Or prevent conflict. During migration.
That's a welcome update for sure.
Tell me.
What about those of us who like to add visual flair to our Confluence whiteboards?
Yeah.
Any new features that will make our whiteboards more engaging? You can now add hyperlinks to text on your Confluence whiteboards.
Nice.
This makes it easier to share links and connect your whiteboards to other relevant content.
Sounds like those whiteboards are getting even more interactive.
But
tell me.
What about those of us who rely on Confluence's Daily Digest?
The Daily Digest.
To stay up to date on the latest activity.
Keep me updated.
Any improvements to the Digest experience?
Is there an improvement?
The Confluence Daily Digest now includes a summary of the pages and blogs you've watched, viewed.
So this gives you a more comprehensive overview of the content you're following.
That's right.
And helps you stay informed. About the latest updates.
That's a handy addition to the Daily Digest. But tell me, what about managing notifications? In Confluence.
Any updates that will help us reduce notification overload?
Reduce the overload.
Confluence is giving you more control over notifications.
Right?
So page owners no longer receive notifications by default. When someone interacts with their page, they can now choose to watch a page. To opt in to notifications.
Reducing the noise from unnecessary alerts.
It sounds like those notifications will be more meaningful. From now on.
But tell me.
Hit me.
What about managing draft pages?
Managing drafts.
In Confluence.
Any updates that will help us tidy up those drafts?
Tidy them up?
And keep our spaces organized.
It's now easier to discard draft pages in Confluence. Draft pages with no content can be instantly discarded from the toolbar. And blank drafts will be automatically discarded. After 7 days. This helps declutter your spaces.
It clutters.
And improves overall performance.
So it's a good spring cleaning for those drafts.
But tell me.
What about those of us who love Confluence automation?
Yeah.
Are there any updates?
That will make our automated workflows even more powerful.
Oh, I hope so.
They've made it possible to mention users. In automation actions in Confluence.
So you can now use the add comment.
And
publish page action. To mention users. By their account ID or using smart values.
Making your automated workflows
more collaborative.
That's a handy addition to the automation toolkit.
It is.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with complex content structures? In Confluence. Are there any updates that will make it easier to organize and manage? Our content. Confluence has introduced several improvements to the editor experience.
Several improvements. I like the sound of this.
You can now create nested expands.
Giving
you more flexibility in how you organize your content. And the editor now supports more complex content structures.
Okay.
Making it easier to manage detailed information within your Confluence pages.
Sounds like Confluence is becoming even more versatile.
It really is. But tell me, what about those of us who use anchor links to link to specific sections within a Confluence page?
Anchor links.
Any updates for those of us who rely on anchor links for navigation?
Hit me.
The anchor link macro in Confluence has been updated to make it easier to use and share anchor links.
Oh.
You can now quickly copy the link to an anchor.
Copy the link.
And share it with others.
So making it easier to direct people.
To
specific sections within your Confluence pages.
That's a welcome usability improvement.
For
sure, but tell me. What about those of us who love working with Confluence databases? Any update?
For those of us who use databases to manage information.
You'll be pleased to hear.
That Confluence databases now support quick calculations.
Quick calculation?
You can now easily calculate sums, averages, minimums, maximums, and other insights directly within your Confluence databases. And for those who like to keep their databases organized, you can now add numbered entries to your Confluence databases.
That's for better clarity instruction.
Those are some handy additions
to
the Confluence database toolkit.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with AWS and use Confluence automation to interact with AWS services?
Any updates in that area?
There is a new feature for Confluence automation.
I'm intrigued.
That allows you to customize the duration for waiting for a response when running the AWS SSM document and resume rule in case of no response.
So
this gives you more flexibility in how you manage those AWS interactions
within your Confluence automation workflows.
That's a great addition for those who work with AWS.
It is a great addition.
But tell me, what about creating spaces in Confluence? Any updates?
For those of us who manage Confluence spaces.
They've simplified the process of creating spaces in Confluence.
Tell me more.
You can now choose from 2 preset space types. Knowledge base and collaboration. Or create a custom space with your own configurations.
So it makes it easier to get started with new Confluence spaces.
It does.
Sounds like a welcome simplification.
Simplification is good.
But tell me.
What about Confluence Analytics?
Confluence Analytics.
Any updates?
That will help us understand how our Confluence content is performing.
Confluence Analytics has been redesigned.
Redesigned.
To improve its look and feel.
So look and feel.
And make it easier to interact with your data.
So you can now use
preset time range filters. Select grouping by different time frames. And easily find users, content, or spaces
using the
new search bar.
So it's easier to find things.
And for page analytics specifically, there are new summary cards for views.
Your
viewers.
And
mentions, making it easier to get a quick overview of your page's performance.
Those are some valuable additions
to the Confluence Analytics toolkit.
But tell me,
what about those of us who use nested quotes in our Confluence content?
Nested quotes.
Are there any updates
that will make it easier to format those nested quotes?
Confluence now allows you to nest media and code blocks within quotes, providing more context and improving the readability of those nested quotes.
It sounds like those nested quotes will be looking sharp.
But tell me, what about those of us who use automation in Confluence?
Any updates?
That will make our automated workflows even more powerful.
Hit me with the updates.
You can now mention users in automation actions in Confluence. The add comment and publish page actions now support mentioning users.
So making your automated workflows
more collaborative. That's a handy addition.
Tell me.
What about those of us who work with company hubs?
Company hubs?
In Confluence.
Any
updates for those who use company hubs to centralize information?
Give me the good news.
There are new analytics available for your company hub in Confluence. So you can now understand how your hub is performing.
And
discover what content is most relevant to your users.
So you can track.
You can track metrics such as total visits, unique visitors, expert speakers, and clicks and more.
Giving you valuable insights into how your company hub is being used.
That's a fantastic addition.
For those who manage company hubs.
But tell me, are there any improvements
to the drag-and-drop functionality in the Confluence editor? I'm a big fan of intuitive and efficient editing experiences.
Confluence has enhanced the drag-and-drop feature.
The drag-and-drop
in the editor.
Okay.
To make it easier to nest content.
So you
can now drag-and-drop content?
Drag and drop?
To nest it within certain elements, such as tables, table blocks, expands, panels, and layouts. Reducing the need for cut and paste operations.
Reduce.
And speaking of tables, nesting within tables is now even more seamless. Making it easier to work with complex table structures.
Sounds like Confluence is becoming even more user-friendly.
It is.
But tell me, what about collaborating on Confluence whiteboards?
Collaborating.
Any updates that will make it easier to work together in real time?
You can now follow your teammates.
On
Confluence whiteboards.
So this makes it easier
to collaborate
and see what others are working on.
In real time. That's a great way to enhance real-time collaboration.
But tell me, what about those of us who use live pages in Confluence?
Live pages?
To work on content collaboratively.
Yeah, I know them.
Any updates?
That will make it easier to manage edits and permissions on those live pages.
Give me the good news.
Confluence has introduced a new Request to Edit feature.
Request to Edit.
For tasks on live pages, users who don't have edit access can now request permission. To changes, and admins can approve or deny those requests.
That sounds like a great way to manage those collaborative edits.
But tell me, what about adding media to our Confluence pages?
Adding media.
Any updates that will make that process smoother?
Smoother's good.
Confluence has made it easier to add media from web links. You can now insert images and videos directly from web links. Using the Add Image, Video, or File toolbar dropdown. Or the / command palette.
So that's a welcome streamlining of the media insertion process.
But tell me.
Hit me with it.
What about using Atlassian Intelligence to summarize changes? Relate to Confluence pages. I'm all about leveraging AI
to save time
and effort.
Absolutely.
You'll be pleased to hear. That Atlassian Intelligence can now summarize changes made to Confluence pages and blog posts.
Well, that's nice.
You can now select Summarize Changes.
To
get a concise overview. Of what's been updated. Since you last visited the page.
So this makes it easier to stay up to date.
On
the latest revisions.
That's a brilliant use of AI to keep us informed. But tell me, what about using Atlassian Intelligence within the Confluence editor?
So within the editor,
any updates?
For those of us who love leveraging AI for content creation.
They've made a few design updates.
To
the AI command palette in the Confluence editor. The updates simplify the interface. And make it easier to interact with Atlassian Intelligence. While editing your Confluence content.
Those AI-powered features are getting even more refined.
But tell me.
Hit me.
What about using Atlassian Intelligence to summarize information on Confluence whiteboards?
On those whiteboards.
Imagine the time saved getting a quick overview of complex whiteboard discussions.
I'm imagining it.
You can now use Atlassian Intelligence to summarize Confluence whiteboards.
Oh, that's great.
This feature generates a concise overview of the whiteboard's content, saving you time and effort when reviewing complex whiteboards.
That's a fantastic time saver.
It is, for sure. But tell me, what about voting on Confluence whiteboards? Are there any updates?
For those of us who use whiteboards for collaborative decision-making.
They've made some improvements to the voting experience in Confluence whiteboards. So you can now run more flexible voting sessions. With anonymous voting. And the ability to mark yourself as done.
So these enhancements make it easier to gather input. And make decisions collaboratively using Confluence whiteboards.
Right. So it sounds like those whiteboard voting sessions will be even more efficient. But tell me, what about those of us who use Confluence whiteboards for creating diagrams? And flowcharts? Any updates?
That'll make it easier to create those visual representations.
They've made a few improvements to the drawing tools. In Confluence whiteboards, you can now attach lines to the same shape. And snap lines to shapes. Improving the precision and complexity. There's your diagrams.
And speaking of complexity.
Yes.
You can now bulk import all Jira issues.
Oh, wow.
From a JQL query into your Confluence whiteboards.
So this makes it easier to visualize large sets of Jira data
within your whiteboards.
Within those whiteboards.
That's a brilliant way to bridge the gap.
The gap.
Between Jira and Confluence.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with sensitive data in Confluence?
Sensitive data.
Any updates that will help us protect that information?
Protect it.
And ensure that it's only accessible to authorized users?
Absolutely.
Atlassian has introduced a new data security policy in Confluence. That allows you to prevent people from using public links.
Public links.
In specific spaces.
Right. So this gives you
more control over who can access
sensitive content?
Sensitive content?
In Confluence.
In Confluence.
And ensures that your information is properly protected.
It does, it does.
Sounds like a welcome addition to the Confluence security arsenal.
But tell me.
Hit me.
What about managing Confluence spaces as a product admin?
Managing spaces.
Any updates?
That will make it easier to oversee those spaces and keep everything running smoothly.
Confluence has introduced a new feature for product admins that allows you to view and manage all your Confluence spaces with supportive metadata and actionable insights.
This gives you a centralized view of your Confluence spaces.
That's right.
And makes it easier to monitor their activity, performance, and usage.
That's a great way to keep those Confluence spaces in check.
But
tell me, what about version history for Confluence whiteboards?
Version history, yeah.
Any updates for those of us who like to keep track of revisions and revert to previous versions?
I do.
You can now view and restore previous versions of your Confluence whiteboards.
Oh, okay.
This gives you greater flexibility and control over your whiteboard content.
Right, so...
And ensures that you can always roll back to a previous version.
If needed.
That's
a welcome addition, for sure.
Version history is a lifesaver for those times when we need to undo a mistake.
Undo those mistakes.
Or revert to a previous iteration.
But tell me, are there any updates to the Space Details settings page in Confluence?
The Space Details settings page?
Yeah, I'm always a fan of those little usability improvements that make life easier for admins.
The Space Details settings page in Confluence has been modernized with an updated look and feel.
An updated look and feel, I like that.
Space admins can now edit space details with fewer clicks. And the list of admins is now displayed with profile pictures for easier identification. They've also added localization for drop-down options that were previously untranslated, making Confluence more accessible to a wider audience.
Sounds like those space details are looking sharp.
They are.
But tell me, what about editing cells? In Confluence databases.
And any updates that will make that process more efficient.
Make it efficient.
You can now double-click on a cell in a Confluence database to enter edit mode, making it faster and easier to update your database entries.
And for those who like to work with copied values. You can now paste values directly into a Confluence database.
Paste them directly.
By selecting a cell and pasting.
Streamlining the process.
Of updating your data.
That's a handy time saver. For sure. But tell me, are there any improvements to the way Confluence integrates with Jira?
Confluence integrating with Jira?
For creating new issues.
Creating issues. I'm always a fan of those seamless connections.
They've made it even easier to create Jira issues.
Easier to create?
From a Confluence page. Using Atlassian Intelligence.
Using AI.
You can now create a single issue in the right side panel.
So
when you select text on a Confluence page, this gives you access to all Jira issue fields. While staying in the context of the Confluence page. Making it a more seamless and efficient experience.
That's a great way to minimize context switching.
And
keep those creative juices flowing.
They've also added the ability to select text on a Confluence page and use Atlassian Intelligence to generate a Jira issue for you.
Oh, that's handy.
AI will use both the selected text and the surrounding content to generate a Jira issue
with the
summary, and other relevant fields, making it incredibly easy to create Jira issues without ever leaving your Confluence page.
Now that's what I call smart integration.
But tell me, what about those of us who are always on the lookout for new ways to speed up our work in Jira?
Speed things up?
Any new features that will help us shave precious minutes off our daily tasks?
Shave off those minutes.
Jira is introducing a new feature that allows you to create issues faster by hiding unused fields.
Hiding unused fields.
This personalized setting hides fields that you haven't used in the past 30 days.
So it's
decluttering the create issue form.
Decluttering.
And allowing you to focus on the essential fields.
Essential fields.
And for those who love working with smart links.
I do love a good smart link.
There are even more time-saving updates.
Hit me.
You can now edit the Jira summary status any and priority directly from the smart link list view.
Directly from the list view.
Eliminating the need to open each issue individually.
Those are some brilliant time-saving tweaks.
But tell me, what about those of us who rely on Jira's automation capabilities to streamline our workflows?
Automation, automation, automation.
Any updates that will make our automation rules even more flexible and powerful.
More flexible, more powerful. I like it.
They've added a new feature to the Smart Values panel.
The Smart Values panel.
In Jira and Confluence automation.
Okay.
The panel now includes a filter called Custom Fields.
Custom Fields.
Which contains up to 50 custom issue fields from your instance.
Right.
This makes it easier to find and use custom fields when creating your automation rules.
Sounds like a great way to harness the power of custom fields in our automations.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with action items?
Action items?
Within Jira issues.
Action items are a handy way to track those small but important tasks within a larger issue.
That's right.
Any updates for those of us who love a good action item checklist?
You can now create action items. Within the description and comments of a Jira issue.
Within the issue.
This feature lets you use checkboxes. To format your text. And create a clear list of action items that don't require separate tracking. It's a simple but effective way to keep those to-dos organized and visible.
Within your Jira issues.
Right. Sounds like those action items will be front and center.
They will be front and center.
But tell me, what about those of us who rely on filters to find the right information in Jira?
Filters are so important.
Any updates that will make those filtering experiences even more powerful and intuitive?
More powerful, more intuitive. I'm listening.
They've updated the way filter name searches work in Jira dashboards. And the filters page. Search results will now display all filters that contain the search term. Regardless of any special characters in the term. This change provides more consistent and predictable results when we're searching for filters.
That's a welcome improvement, for sure. Consistent search results are a must-have.
They are.
For any power user.
But tell me, what about those of us who are new to Jira? And need a bit of guidance on how to use the tool effectively.
So those newbies out there.
Any new features that will help those newbies get up to speed quickly. Jira has updated the in-product help experience.
The in-product help.
When you search in-product help, your search terms will now be highlighted in the results,
making it easier to see how the results relate to your query.
So it's a small but helpful change.
It
makes it easier for new users to find the information they need.
Right. Sounds like those newbies will be finding their way around Jira in no time.
Finding their way, they will be.
But tell me, are there any updates for those of us who work with business projects in Jira?
Business projects, yeah.
Business projects are all about managing those day-to-day tasks. And keeping things moving smoothly. Any new feature that will make our lives easier in that realm.
They've made it easier to edit the name and icon.
Of
a business project in Jira.
So
you can now edit these details directly in line. Without having to navigate to the project settings.
No, it's a small but convenient update.
It is.
It streamlines those basic project management tasks.
That's a welcome simplification.
For sure.
But tell me. Are there any updates for those of us who love using forms in Jira?
Forms in Jira.
Forms are a fantastic way to gather information. And streamline those intake processes.
Any new features that will make our forms even more powerful and versatile.
They've added a new field type in Jira Forms called cascading fields.
Cascading fields.
This allows you to create conditional fields where the values in one field depend on the selection made in another field.
Right.
It's a great way to make your forms more dynamic and intuitive.
That's a brilliant way to add intelligence to our forms.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with company-managed software projects in Jira?
company-managed software projects.
Any updates specific to that domain
that we should be aware of?
They've streamlined the board creation experience.
The board creation experience.
For company-managed software projects in Jira, you can now create a board directly from the sidebar navigation.
Oh, handy.
And you can star boards to easily access the areas where you work most often.
Sounds like a great way to personalize those Jira boards.
But tell me, what about those of us who love Jira's automation capabilities?
Automation is a beautiful thing.
Automation is all about making our lives easier.
It really is.
And freeing up time for more strategic work.
Freeing up time.
New features.
That will make our automation rules even smarter. And more efficient.
They've added the ability to create custom fields while building forms in Jira. This means you no longer have to go to the project settings.
To create custom fields.
To create a custom field, you can now do it
right within the form builder.
Right within the form builder. Right. And for those who love using smart links, there's a fantastic new feature. Smart links are now available in URL and short text fields.
Making it even easier to connect your Jira issues
to other relevant information.
Those are some handy additions to the Jira toolkit.
But tell me, what about those of us who work with Jira Service Management?
Jira Service Management.
Uh-huh.
Any updates?
That will make our customer support workflows even smoother. And more efficient.
Jira Service Management is rolling out a new feature that allows you to view and filter virtual service agent conversations by channel.
Oh, that's handy.
This makes it easier to track and analyze how your virtual service agent is performing. Across different channels, giving you valuable insights.
Into your customer interactions.
Sounds like a great way to keep those virtual agents in check.
But tell me, are there any updates that will make it easier for us to work with large sets of data?
Large sets of data.
In Jira Service Management, data analysis is a crucial part of optimizing our workflows.
It's all about the data.
And making informed decisions. Any new features that will help us crunch those numbers more effectively.
Crunch the numbers.
Jira Service Management now supports bulk, duplicate, and delete operations.
Bulk, that's good.
For components in the automation rule builder.
Right.
This time-saving feature allows you to select multiple components. And duplicate or delete them in one go.
Okay.
Streamlining your automation management.
That's a welcome efficiency boost.
But tell me, what about those of us who are always on the lookout for new ways to integrate Jira Service Management with other tools and services?
I'm a big fan of seamless connection.
And
a unified workflow.
They've made it easier to connect your coding tools to your software projects in Jira Service Management.
Yes.
Whether you're using GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket,
all the usual suspects,
or other popular code management tools.
Right.
The integration process is now smoother and more intuitive.
Fantastic news for developers.
But tell me, are there any updates
that
will make it easier for us to search for issues in Jira?
Searching for issues. Crucial part of our daily workflow.
It is.
Any improvements in that area?
Are always welcome.
Absolutely.
They've made some updates to the way text fields
are
handled in issue searches.
In
Jira.
So
when using the search field,
when searching,
results will now be based on the summary description and all text custom fields.
Right.
This change improves search performance and ensures that you get the most relevant results. Right. Sounds like those issue searches will be lightning fast. But tell me, what about those of us who work with Jira Service Management's knowledge base?
The knowledge base,
The knowledge base is a crucial resource.
It really is.
For our customers.
So any updates that make it easier to manage and customize? Are always welcome.
They've made some significant updates. In the knowledge base in Jira Service Management.
I'm all ears.
You can now create embedded release notes with a Confluence template, making it easier to document and share your release information with your customers.
Oh, that's handy.
And for those who need to update the status, or priority of Jira issues, you can now do so directly from the Smart Link list view within your knowledge base articles, and streamlining those issue management tasks.
Those are some handy improvements
to the knowledge base. But tell me, what about managing notifications.
Notifications.
For external users in Jira.
External users, yeah.
External users are an important part of many workflows.
They are.
But managing their access and notifications can be a bit tricky.
It can.
Any updates that will make that process easier.
Make it easier.
Jira admins now have more control over notifications.
More control.
For external users.
Okay.
External users will receive issue-related emails.
Okay.
But user-generated content will be removed.
Removed.
They'll also no longer receive project emails or events, like project dilution reminders.
Okay.
Giving you more control over what information
external users can access.
Sounds like a sensible way to manage those external user notifications.
But tell me, what about integrating Jira with Compass?
Compass.
You know, Atlassian's tool for managing software components.
Oh.
Compass is a fantastic way to keep track of our software architecture.
It is.
And ensure that our work is aligned with those components.
Yeah, aligned with the components.
And the update.
That will make those connections even stronger.
Stronger connections.
You can now link issues to Compass components.
Okay.
Directly from your Jira projects.
Oh.
This makes it easier to track and manage work in Jira.
Against your software architecture.
Against the architecture.
Components, ensuring that everyone is on the same page.
On the same page.
And that your work is properly aligned.
Properly aligned.
With your overall software strategy.
That's a fantastic integration.
It is.
But tell me.
Hit me.
Are there any updates for those of us who love using Jira's planned timeline?
I love it.
To visualize our work and track progress.
I love a visual representation.
I do too.
To make complex projects easier to understand.
They've made it easier to create issues.
Oh.
Directly on the planned timeline in Jira.
Directly on the planned timeline.
You can now create issue types directly on the timeline header.
Handy.
Without having to navigate through the work hierarchy level.
So it's...
This streamlined process makes it faster and easier to add
new work item.
New work items.
To your planned timeline.
That's a brilliant way to keep those plans.
Up to date.
Up to date.
And detailed.
But tell me,
okay,
are there any updates for those of us who use the program board in Jira to manage large multi-team projects?
Multi-team projects.
The program board is a powerhouse.
It is.
For tracking sprints and dependencies.
So any improvements
are always welcome.
They are?
They've made a significant update to the program board in Jira.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
You can now manage dependencies.
Manage dependencies.
Directly on the program board.
Right.
This highly requested feature allows you to filter the board
to show
dependencies.
Okay.
Visualize dependencies with lines, connecting related work items, and even create new dependencies.
Directly from the board.
Directly from the board. So this gives you
greater visibility into those critical dependencies and makes it easier to manage potential roadblocks. Now that's what I call a game changer for managing those complex projects.
It is.
But tell me.
What about those of us who rely on the goals field in Jira?
Goals field.
To connect our work to those high-level business objectives.
It's all about keeping the big picture in mind.
The big picture.
And ensuring that our efforts are contributing.
To those strategic goals.
Strategic goals.
They've made it easier to connect issues to goals.
Oh.
In your Jira lists.
Lists.
And the issue view.
The issue view.
You can now link issues to goals directly from these views, making it more convenient to align your work
with those strategic objectives
and track progress towards those goals.
Right. So it sounds like Jira is becoming quite the strategic planning tool.
But tell me, are there any updates for those of us who love using smart links to connect our Jira issues
to other
relevant information?
Smart links are a fantastic way to create those seamless connections.
They are.
And keep everything organized.
You can now share your Jira plans using smart links.
Oh, that's handy.
This makes it incredibly easy to share your plans.
Share those plans.
With your team members and stakeholders.
Ensuring that everyone has access to the latest plan information.
Sounds like a great way to keep those plans.
Front and center.
Front and center.
Well, it seems we've reached the end. Of our Atlassian Cloud Changelog Deep Dive.
What a whirlwind tour.
A whirlwind tour it has been.
Of updates and improvements.
Atlassian has been busy making their cloud products.
Even more powerful. User-friendly.
User-friendly.
Secure.
And secure. From simplified administration to AI-powered features.
And enhanced security measures.
These changes are sure to have a positive impact.
On how teams